शिवोऽहं 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 चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिवो
Namaste, Jai Shivai. In one of the previous videos, we did talk about what's the dharma for normal people. Okay, those who haven't had extreme vairagya or dispassion yet, and then what should be the dharma, the principles of life for them, so that they do not indulge into bad karma, so that they keep their suffering to the minimum level. They can minimize the suffering. So what's the path of dharma for them? So we did talk about the dharma in one of the previous video. Today we are going to talk about dharma for yogis. Now here, yogi is not somebody who is meditating, trying to meditate. Yogi is not somebody who is teaching this yoga, that yoga. I'm not talking about all that. That's not the sign of yogi, and it's not for you to analyze or judge the yoginess in somebody else. This information is so you can introspect yourself whether you are a yogi or not, based off of how extreme is the dispassion or vairagya in you. So only the level of vairagya decides whether you are a yogi or not. And then suppose you have vairagya, enough vairagya, and you found a guru, any guru around the world, and you are devoted to that guru, you have taken initiations, and now walking the spiritual path is your biggest dharma. Now, worldly life does not matter. Whatever responsibilities you have towards your family members, your children, anybody who's connected to you, either you go on fulfilling them without questioning to the extent it is possible for you, and the rest of the time you spend in your spiritual practice, your sadhana. That's the utmost important dharma of a yogi. Okay, and then it may look like yogis are not following the path of yam, niyam, or they are lying here and there. Yes, they have to. In order to save their journey, in order to save themselves and their journey, spiritual journey, if they have to lie, they have to lie. So many of our great enlightened beings in the past were being forced to marry. Maharishi Dayanand Saraswati, Yogananda, even Neem Karoli Baba got married because of the pressure from the house and the parents and everybody, right? So, in order to run away from the house, in order to lie, all that is there. But you also need to keep in your mind that whenever you are lying or running away from the social responsibilities, from your worldly responsibilities, you need to keep in mind, if you do not have enough dispassion or vairagya within, then the desire for these very relationships is going to be the biggest roadblock for you in your spiritual journey. And why I am saying this is, I've seen lot of young people, those who got into spirituality and started walking their spiritual path when they were pretty young, like they're in their early 20s, and they were 18, 19, and in their early 20s, they started following some guru, some teachings and some things. And then they tried to evade the, possibility of getting married. But by the time they were like in their 30s or late 30s, the desire to have a companionship, the desire to have a life partner became the worst possible pain for them and a roadblock. And that desire becomes so painful that neither it allows them to breathe and live the life that they have chosen themselves, nor now are they able to jump and go on the other side. Neither they are of this world nor they are of that world. And it completely messed them up. And this is also one of the reasons why a lot of parents, and relatives and in Indian families, they actually discourage you from following a guru, especially a spiritual guru or a sannyasi guru or renunciate. Anybody who's wearing an orange robe or yellow robe or white robe or any such uniform, youngsters are discouraged from going to them. Why? For the time being, some ideas of leaving the world, leaving the family, leaving the sansara they will get a little bit of brainwashed because of them. It wouldn't be something that has arisen from within. It's not the vairagya that have led them to the spiritual path. It's just that they heard something, they felt nice, and that's how they decided, no, I'm not going to marry. But later on, that is the very thing that stops them from living the dharma of a normal person. Forget about following the dharma of a yogi. So if those desires haven't vanished from within you, that you seek a companion, and that desire is just a delayed thing or a suppressed thing for now, later on it's going to crop up its ugly head and it's going to bother you a lot. So don't do that. Go via this route of sansara. It's not at all that, only those who are alone or those who live the life of a complete renunciate, only they are enlightened. No. A lot of enlightened beings, me and so many Sadhguru and so many other, we were married, we have children, and nothing has stopped us. Those who turn vairagi, those who are vairagi, for them, worldly relationships, worldly responsibilities might delay something, but cannot become the showstopper. So marriage is not a showstopper. Having relationships in life is not a showstopper. Performing your duties is not a showstopper for your spiritual journey. So a yogi's dharma or involvement into the world should be according to the level of dispassion, the level of vairagya that he has got or she has got. Not according to some fancy ideas about this thing or that thing. No. Okay. So yogi's utmost dharma is towards his or her own atma, the real self, the true self. Okay. And walking the journey of knowing who you are, who you truly are. In other words, going for Atma Bodh or Samadhi or enlightenment or self-realization or moksha, whichever word or term you would like to describe it into. So walking that spiritual path, Adhyatma, is the utmost important dharma. Rest, everything comes later. But to what degree you will be able to commit it to your spiritual journey, to what degree you will be able to walk your spiritual journey, all depends upon only one thing: how intensely a vairagi you are, how dispassionate you are. If you still have worldly desires left for relationship, for money, for this, for that, for having kids, having family, having people around, and then you should as well go ahead for that. Okay? If someday you turn vairagi, that's fine. You will be able to walk your spiritual journey. So this is what the dharma for a yogi is. Rest, everybody should follow and live according to the 7 dharma principles, 7 universal principles that sustain life, that I have talked about in my previous videos. You should watch it if you haven't. Rest all the people should live according to those 7 principles. Namaste. Jai Shivaya.